I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
Now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause when I gon' have met your S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the ground.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, or you just want to hit us up on the voicemail line, leave a quick take or anything, give us a call, 219-413-9405. And of course, we will play your take back on our next episode. Speaking of episodes, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off of your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website, but it's a lot of sports still happening. Opening day is right around the corner. Basketball season is rolling strong, so you could definitely go ahead, use that, create that account, and then go to one of these games. One of the games I'm excited to go to, not in season yet, but the Atlanta Falcons, as you know by now, they've been very active at the deadline. And the biggest news that everybody has with the Falcons right now is the free agent move of signing Tua Tagovailoa. Now, he's not the only move that the Falcons have made. And honestly, I'm very impressed with Ian Cunningham so far, making some moves. First-year GM. He hasn't done anything that's been very risky, hasn't overpaid anybody, hasn't given away any draft picks. And in fact, he actually gave us some draft picks by letting some of the guys go and letting some of the guys walk. Algier, Caden Ellis, and a couple of others, which I'll explain later on down the line. But to go over some of the free agents that the Atlanta Falcons did sign so far on the first day, let's just start with the big name right off the bat. Tua Tagovailoa. Man, we signed him for a league minimum. I know a lot of people are upset about it, but league minimum, $1.3 million. You really can't beat that. I mean, Joe Flacco was even more expensive than that. You can't think of another quarterback that can bring anything to the team like Tua can from a quarterback position that can cost that little of money. It's actually crazy. So I'll explain the whole Tua thing, but some of the other names, as you know. So first, Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback. We picked up Jahan Dotson, the wide receiver from the Eagles. We signed Jahan Dotson to a 2-year, $15 million. A speedster type of guy. We signed the receiver Zacchaeus. We also signed we bringing him back actually, tight end Austin Hooper. He's coming back to Atlanta. We signed the DN Cameron Thomas. Also Christian Harris, the linebacker, former Texans linebacker. Signed a kicker and a punter. The punter, I will say, I'm excited about that. We had a lot of issues on special team, and same with the kicker, Nick Folk, as well. We signed him for a 3-year, $9 million deal. Last year with the New York Jets, he hit 28 of 29 field goals. So this hopefully can just resolve all the funny business issues we had going on last year. As you know, we lost a couple of games because of our field goals and just these stupid late game situations that resulted in a missed field goal. So thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. But some of these signings that we did, I mentioned we picked up Dotson. Dotson is a speed guy, can definitely help us out in the receiving room because he's going to just help spread the field, man. Obviously, Drake London is there, and then you bring in a veteran receiver like Zacchaeus, who's also going to help just lock in some of those easy routes and be able to help spread the field. Another guy who got some good hands on him. He's coming back to Atlanta as well because he played there with Matt Ryan. I was a little nervous at first, truth be told, because Matt Ryan was kind of bringing in a lot of older people. We had Hooper. He came back, and he's been here before in Atlanta, but we brought him back, and I think he's like 31. Then you signed Zacchaeus, who's also played with Matt Ryan. And I started getting a little nervous for a second because I'm like, how much longer do we have until Matt Ryan puts in a call for Julio Jones or Roddy White or somebody? Like, come on, man. I was a little nervous. Anyway, the Tua Tagovailoa deal, I'm excited for it because to me, this whole Tua deal, I know some people don't like it because it's like, oh, well, Tua threw this many interceptions and he's such a bad quarterback, injury prone. He's going to be always hurt all the time and it's no stability there. So he's so inconsistent. Okay, I get those arguments, but you got to remember, Tua is not coming in as a guaranteed starter. Stefanski already talked to Penix, and he gave Penix the heads up that it will be a position battle. So that is confirmed. It's nothing out there that said Tua is going to come in and be a starter. And also, I like the move of bringing in Tua, not only because it puts a little pressure on Penix to perform, but also because it's a very, very low risk with a possible high reward bringing in Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, he cost us little to no money. We got him off of a league minimum in free agency. So that alone already makes me excited because we're paying nothing for a quarterback who can produce as we've seen him do before. Not saying he's the most consistent, not saying he's the best quarterback in the world or the best in the NFL or even the best on the Atlanta Falcons. But the point is, we've seen him light up teams in certain games with the Miami Dolphins when the play call was there and the game was set for him. So it's no doubt in my mind that with the great leadership and with some solid leadership and some solid play calling that we can see Tua Tagovailoa thrive. Now, I still don't want to put him over Penix or anything like that. Excited that it's a position battle. And one of the things that actually has my mind, and initially I didn't even want Tua there. So I was on the side of Tua and bringing Tua and Penix in the same quarterback room when both of these guys are always hurt. I just didn't want it to happen, man, because you had Penix who just hasn't really had the best of luck in terms of surpassing injuries. He's had a lot of injuries on his side in history just throughout his football career. And it's still a lot of time. He's still young in his NFL career, but it's just, again, history hasn't been on his side when it comes to injuries. And then you have Tua that just has a very, very bad history with concussions. The man has barely been able to play one full season without sitting out because of a concussion. So that did scare me right away. However, league minimum, I'll take it. You're paying less than $2 million for a quarterback who had multiple great seasons in the NFL, 2023 and 2024. So I will really take it. And the bright side, we're getting him dirt cheap. And then in 2023, like I said, that he had some good seasons. He's got a lot of experience. He's a well-sautéed quarterback in the NFL. And maybe, just maybe, with different leadership, he can go on to thrive because we've seen him lead the league in passing yards in 2023. We've seen him rank very high in yards per attempt and just all of these different stat categories that are solid for quarterbacks. So we've seen that happen with Tua. And depending on how the offense is ran, I think Tua can really have some success with the Atlanta Falcons if he wins the position battle and so on. So it'll be interesting to kind of compare these two down the line when we get to training camp and see how things are really lining up. But I'm okay with bringing in Tua that has very little risk with a possible high reward because it worked out for the Vikings. I'm sure the Vikings fans was very sick when they picked up Sam Darnold the first time and was like, I'm sure there was multiple fans like, this guy has not thrived. He hasn't done anything with the Panthers. He hasn't done anything with the Jets. And then look at him. He turned around that Vikings team and took them to the playoffs and had a solid regular season run. Now he's a Super Bowl champion. You look at another example, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers fans picked up a quarterback who did not have history on his side. To Baker Mayfield. I mean, he was bad with the Panthers. He wasn't the best with the Browns. Didn't have a good history under his belt. Went with a solid offensive coordinator, was able to have some success. And now we look at Baker Mayfield completely different than what we did his first couple of years in the league. So it's possible that Tua could have a similar situation in Atlanta. Now, do I trust Stefanski and Tommy Rees to really hook Tua up? I don't know, man. I don't really know too much about these guys. And we haven't really seen them coach. So that part scares me for sure, but anything can happen. So I'm just trying to stay optimistic about that. And then with Penix there, I'm happy, man. Either way, we have a solid QB2. There's the whole conversation of should Tua start? No, Tua is not going to start. It's been reported already that Stefanski talked to Michael Penix Jr. and he is already informed him that Penix will be in a position battle with Tua. So this puts the pressure on Michael Penix Jr. that he can't just come in, loose-minded and just kind of playing around. He's got to come in locked in and focused, and we're really going to evaluate how he is returning from injury. But also with Tua, it's going to be the same exact thing because you're coming into a situation where you have a solid quarterback who's already there. And to me, although some people may want Tua Tagovailoa to start, I'm on the side of not starting Tua. I can't put Michael Penix to the second string quarterback when I haven't seen him as a first string quarterback with competent play calling. I cannot allow Tua to go in and start over him just right off the bat. So I'm glad there's going to be a position battle, and I'm glad Stefanski has already communicated that with his former starting quarterback. So, it will be extremely interesting during training camp and all of these things, but yet along, the Falcons aren't done making moves so far in free agency. And it's crazy to me because Falcons really, really went from having the most expensive backup quarterback to now one of the cheapest backup quarterbacks with exceptional talent. So it's kind of crazy how that transformed all in 1 year. So, I cannot wait. I can't wait to see what else happens day 2. Like I said, some of the other free agents that we did let go, we're not bringing them back. Tyler Algier, really wanted him to come back. David Onyemata, he's going to be gone, defensive tackle. And it appears that we're going to let Zane Gonzalez, D. Alford, and Caden Ellis walk as well. Now, the bright side of this is although we're letting some of these guys on our team go who were very impactful last year, is we are going to get draft compensation for them. So the league has the rule of you get compensation. You get, I think, picks from 3 to 7 as long as you lose more people than you retain in free agency. And apparently we met that criteria. So we will be getting 3 picks for Caden Ellis, Tyler Algier, Onyemata. Don't know exactly where it will be. Reports are still coming out on exactly where it will be, so I don't have that information, but it'll be somewhere through the 3rd pick to the 7th pick. So that's very promising as well. And for Ian Cunningham, a guy who came in the front office and immediately was saying we'll never not have this many draft picks again, or we'll never only have this many draft picks again. It's clear that he's making some moves where he's trying to hook us up for the future and hook us up in the down the line 2027, 2028 type of seasons where we have some picks on our side, because no bad contracts that I've seen so far with the Atlanta Falcons. They're filling these gaps on the roster. They're filling these holes from people that we're losing. And I'm excited to see us do that day 2. But like I said, Dotson is going to be really good on the receiving end. Zacchaeus is going to be helpful as well. Those 2 guys, along with Drake London, will definitely help spread the field. And then you have Austin Hooper, a guy who's coming off a great season with the Patriots. He's going to complement Kyle Pitts well, as also because Kyle Pitts, maybe he'll learn something from the vet. Maybe he'll learn how to block a little bit better. But defensive side, Cameron Thomas, great defensive end, has a lot of experience, veteran defensive lineman piece, then linebacker Christian Harris as well. I'm excited to see what this team continues to do in free agency come day 2. Now, there are a lot more free agents. Oh my gosh, there's a whole list. So let's just pull up this list so I can just show you some of the names here that's in free agency, because there's a lot more people to discuss and that will get picked up at some point. Now, I don't know if the Falcons are going to be the team to sign some of these great names that's still left in free agency, but I would personally love it. I just don't know if we have the cap space to really, bring on some of these crazy contracts that some people are going to attain. So Taylor Decker is up here. Trey Hendrickson, he's probably the top free agent out of everybody right now, just because he's such a defensive piece. I'm shocked he didn't go anywhere day 1 of free agency, but who knows? It's nighttime as I'm recording this, so maybe, just maybe in the middle of the night, he signs with the Baltimore Ravens or something crazy like that. Anyway, you have another guy, Juan Jennings. He had a great season last year. These are some of the names that stick out to me, but obviously here's the whole list. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to the pod, sorry, I'm not going to cover all the names, but Juan Jennings had a great season with the 49ers. Reek Woolen, obviously solid piece there. Romeo Doubs, Dallas Goedert, Joey Bosa, oh my gosh, Calvin Austin III, Kyler Murray, who's probably going to sign with the Vikings at this point, Rico Dowdle, he's going to be a solid piece, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel. You have a lot of people. Now, some of these people have been getting picked up just because this is, I'm not going to, if you're looking at the list and you wonder, damn, why is Cameron Jordan still on here? This list is not updated. Okay, all right, BK, it's not updated, but Geno Smith. It's so many people. This is such a long list here. Zach Ertz, Isaiah Pacheco, Hollywood Brown, Christian Kirk, Tyreek Hill. There's a lot of guys. Russell Wilson, Kobe Durant, and he's going to get a bag from somebody. Darnell Mooney, Marshawn Lattimore. There's so many different guys that's on this list that can be very impactful to a team. Kirk Cousins, who's going to go for a very cheap contract. You have another guy too, Darren Waller, who was retired and came back and he was balling, which is crazy. Rachaad White, great running back. David Njoku, it's loaded with talent in free agency. So a lot of teams, I know one of the teams that's been the most outstanding to me so far has been the Tennessee Titans. They've made a lot of different moves. So I'm impressed about what the Titans have been doing so far in free agency. And they're really looking to turn this thing around and give Cam Ward some pieces over there. So excited for them. But, I mean, it's just day one. It's just day one in free agency. So who knows what will continue to happen. Maybe the Falcons will sign Trey Hendrickson. Maybe we'll pick up Romeo Doubs. Oh, that would be lovely. Maybe we get some more draft picks. Who knows everything that will go on. But I'll tell you what, we'll keep you updated on all. So follow the socials, of course. And, you'll see the trade updates and all of that. Really just stay on Twitter because that's where I'll be following all the trade updates mainly. So if you want to follow the account, it's at the Run Pod. Actually, no, that's Instagram, at Podcast The Run on Twitter. And in the meantime, look, man, don't go anywhere because I have a bone to pick with my Detroit Pistons. Oh man. I'm not gonna give any hints about what's happening. We're just gonna cut to the chase. So we'll be right back. It's halftime. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a sec with some more Pistons talk. Let's do it.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and 0 weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
All right, man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. I appreciate you for tuning in. Hit us up on the voicemail line, 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on the next episode. Now, look, man, I talked about the Falcons and free agency, which was dope. But unfortunately, the Pistons are not doing good. I can't win. I don't know what it is, bro. I can't win. No matter what team I cheer for, I can't win. And then these are teams that I've always cheered for, but for some reason, I can't win. The Tigers are my only hope, apparently. And the Pistons, we have struggled. So as you know, I've let you guys hear it about being number one in the East, best record in the NBA. You can't beat the Pistons. We big and bad. We play defense. Cade is MVP. You heard all these crazy things. Not too crazy, but you heard these things coming out of my mouth. And I'm going to continue to shout some of these things. But I will also admit that I am scared as hell, bro. Because what is going on with this Pistons team, bro? All of the trash that a lot of haters and all the naysayers have been saying about the Pistons not having enough support around Cade Cunningham, it's coming to light. And I already knew this was probably going to happen at some point, but damn it, I didn't expect it to happen right before the playoffs to come crashing down. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, the Pistons are on a 4-game losing streak. They've lost, I don't even know how many games they lost, but they won 3 of their last 8 games. And some of these teams you would have thought were easy guaranteed wins, and they still found a way to lose. So I'm a little nervous with the Pistons. We're still first in the Eastern Conference, but the Celtics are right up on our tail, being number 2 as of right now, as I'm recording this. So I'm a little nervous because this is a team, we are very good. That we are very elite. It's a very defensive team with the Detroit Pistons. And I'm not too concerned about that end. But the only factor that's truly coming to light that scared me was the part of Cade not having enough support. We've watched maybe the last 4 or 5 games. The Pistons have either lost or came close to losing because of that whole narrative that Cade doesn't have enough support and have enough help. Yes, I know Duren can give you 25 and 12, and he's been doing that. He's been giving you 17 points and 17 rebounds. And I understand that we have Duncan Robinson, who maybe gives you 3 or 4 threes in a game, and sometimes if he gets hot, maybe even 5 or 6, which is cool. But ultimately, the Pistons still don't have that secondary ball handler that can distribute and create a shot on his own. And that is what is truly hurting us down the line at the end of this stretch, because I don't know if it's fatigue. I don't know if guys are getting exhausted from just being very physical all season and playing very intensely all season, or what it is. But for some reason, the defensive effort hasn't been there, and damn sure the offensive creativity has not been there outside of Cade Cunningham. Nobody has been able to put the ball in a hoop outside of Cade Cunningham in terms of making their own shot. And this is something that I thought was not going to happen at the end of the regular season, but more so the second round of the playoffs, or even maybe a little bit in the first round of the playoffs. So now that we're getting closer to that, I'm terrified. I'm terrified. I'm not going to sit here and tell you a lie, bro. I gloat about the Pistons when we're up, we're winning, first in the East, best record in the NBA, which is still true. This is still facts here. There's no lies being told. However, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous because when I'm looking at the things that's been happening, the Pistons have been getting exposed, bro. We've been getting exposed. And I'll be the first to admit it, although I am a big-time Pistons fan. I'll admit the Pistons have been getting exposed, not just defensively, but offensively like crazy. Some of these teams that can score the ball, we cannot hang with them. I know we play great defense, and I know our offense comes from great defense, which is so helpful. However, some of these teams are just far ahead of us offensively, which is really hurting us when we play against them. One of those teams being the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the other team, we haven't really seen them in a minute, but the Boston Celtics. Now that they have Jason Tatum back, oh my gosh, I'm terrified of what's going to happen when we have to see them, or if we see them in the playoffs. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm nervous. And then what makes this even crazier is I thought we could get by in the playoffs by seeing a team like the Miami Heat or the Orlando Magic in the first round. And even in these games, we just lost to the Miami Heat and we barely beat the Orlando Magic. So even in these games, it's still a little shaky because I'm not extremely confident that the Pistons can outscore some of these teams. Can we defend? Yes. But even sometimes when we defend great, it doesn't always result in points because we were playing great defense. A lot of times that great defense does create easy offense for us, But man, lately, I don't know what's been going on in terms of this defense and the turning into good offense. It's been nasty, and it has me thinking maybe we need to get Chaz Lanier in the game. Maybe we need to get Kevin Huerter some more minutes. Just anyone who can shoot the ball. And honestly, I'm okay with. Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started about Jenkins. Don't even get me started. Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started about Jenkins. But I'm okay with getting Huerter some more minutes. I'm okay with getting Chaz some more minutes because we got to get some sort of shooting. We got to get guys who can get into some sort of rhythm and something in the game, because by the time the playoffs get here, it's going to be too late to say Chaz get in the game and hit a couple threes, or Kevin Huerter get in the game and hit a couple threes. At that point, it's not going to work. At that point, it's going to be just, it's not going to work. These guys aren't going to have a good feel for the game. They're not going to be able to truly thrive within the game plan and feel comfortable shooting the ball and not feeling like they're hindering the team just because the shot isn't going in. So this worries me. And although I say we got to get Chaz some more minutes, we got to get Kevin Huerter some more minutes, I'm on the side of giving Marcus Sasser some more minutes too, because Marcus Sasser, look, I know he's only like 5'10", 5'9", but the boy is a bucket, man. The boy's a bucket. And regardless of what you say about Marcus Sasser, he's going to go in and play defense. And he is one of the few players on the team that can create their own shot. At this point, stop giving Jenkins all these minutes, because Jenkins has been playing like a bum ever since he's gotten that contract. And granted, this is not me saying he is a bum. I know he's a great player, but he has not been playing to the level that a lot of us thought he could reach this season at all ever since he got that big payday. So he needs to take his behind to the bench, and let's give Marcus Sasser some minutes, because this is a guy, he can create his own shot. We've seen him do it before, and he's also going to play defense. And possibly he can even distribute somewhat on a level of what we've seen Dennis Schroeder do last year. So I'm at the point now where we're getting too close to the playoffs to just ride the downhill train. We need to start mixing some stuff up, especially with Asar out of the lineup and with K resting a little bit. We need to mix some stuff up and truly get these guys in the game and get them involved in the game plan, because I see an explosive offensive guy like Sasser sitting on the bench, and I can't help but to think that he'll be able to help us out. I see a shooter like Chaz sitting on the bench, and I can't help but to think he can help us out. I see Kevin Huerter sitting on the bench, and I can't help but to think he can really help us out if he gets in the game, because we can't shoot and we can't create offense on our own. And those are three guys that can solve that problem and possibly help us. But we got to give them a shot with the end of the season coming to near. With the end of the season coming to a close, and I'm on the side of just trying to see how it works out. Let's just try and see how it works out before we get to the playoffs, because the playoffs are going to be too late to make this happen. So, it'll be interesting. We gonna see how it goes toward the end of the season. I'm not gonna lie, man. The Celtics scare me the most now. I think with the Pistons on this downward spiral, I really believe the Celtics have become the team to beat in the East. The Pistons have gotten exposed by the Cavs. We've gotten exposed even against the Magic at times. Yes, we won these games, but in this last 10-game stretch, the Pistons have gotten exposed a lot, and it showed a lot of their flaws outside of Cade Cunningham and on the offensive end, and a little bit on the defensive end, because it's shaky with Noah Sarr and Isaiah Stewart. Duran can't hold it on his own. Ron Holland can't hold it on his own. Cade Cunningham can't hold it all on his own. So even on the defensive side, it's been rough. And with the Pistons on this downward spiral, I see Cavs being the largest threat in the Eastern Conference and the Boston Celtics being the largest threat in the Eastern Conference. And we know the Celtics just got Jason Tatum back. They were already a big threat without Jason Tatum, because the thing that scares me is they play the exact same way with Jason Tatum when he's not even on the floor. So now you just assimilate him back into the game plan. Yeah, he's going to shoot a little bit more, but a lot of those guys on that team are selfless players. So that's really what worries me with this Boston Celtics team. And the Cavs, they are just very dynamic with James Harden. That was such a great trade deadline move. And I'm on record saying that didn't really move me much, and Harden's not going to do much for this team. They already had Garland, who's a great distributor, but Harden clearly showing his levels to it. And D. Mitch has been resting a little bit. So offensively, extremely talented team. And then you cannot forget about Evan Mobley, because Evan Mobley has expanded his offensive game, and this dude can really will himself to winning a game himself if Harden or D. Mitch is inactive. And that's what's also scary about the Cavs. Meanwhile, Pistons don't have another guy outside of Cade. Durant can get you 17 and 17, but ultimately it's not the same way that I watch Evan Mobley do it, because Evan Mobley can distribute at times because he draws so much attention from scoring on all three layers. So it's a little scary, man. It's a little scary. But we'll see, man. We're coming back to the back half of the season, and I think a lot of teams only got maybe like 8. No, they got more than 8. They got about 12 games left, 12, 13 more games left. And yeah, man, it's coming down to the wire. It's coming down to the wire. So we're going to see what happens. Other than that, look, man, that's all I got for you guys. So hit us up on social medias at The Run Podcast for Instagram and Facebook. YouTube, obviously, The Run with Manny Wilson. And then Twitter is going to be at Podcast The Run. So check all those links out. Check out whichever one you use the most. Just follow the account. You don't got to follow all unless you really want to. But other than that, I'm going to leave y'all on a positive note. And a positive note here, I did think of something. I had something in mind. But the positive note is just going to be as simple as make sure you stay grounded, man. Whatever you got to do to stay grounded, make sure you do that. And that just means, like, don't lose your mind, whatever. So whatever you got to do to stay grounded, you do that, man. Make sure you do that. And, accept that however you want to. So other than that, man, look, that's all I got. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, kicking it. Also, if you're listening to this, maybe Tuesday or Monday, check out On the Hot Podcast. I'm going to be doing a feature on there tomorrow. If it's Tuesday, it's happening that day. It's happening tonight. And if you're listening Monday, it's going to be tomorrow. So check that out. And if you're listening Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then shoot, go back to On the Hot Podcast. My boy Thomas Tari. Man, he be doing his thing. So jumping on that pod, you can check it out on Instagram as well. You'll see all the clips and stuff on there. But man, that's all I got. So I'm up out of here. I will see y'all later on this week, and so on and so on and so on.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.